Hello and a very warm welcome to Goldenacre, home of HERIOT'S Blues, who this afternoon welcome current Premiership leaders Hawick. With only a few games left of the current season, the top teams are now focusing all their efforts on those playoff places. A win today for Hawick will mean that they get a home draw in their semi-final, whereas HERIOT'S are still looking to get themselves into the top four. A win for Hawick will also help out their fellow borderers Kelso, as they are still within a fighting chance of those playoff places too. Now let's hand over to our commentator Dale Clancy, who once again this afternoon is joined by Sam Mathews.
And it's Townsend to get play underway here at Goldenacre. It's been well received initially there from Ryan Purvis, who's making his first start for Hawick this afternoon. Just outside of the 22. Declan Lightfoot just dribbles the ball back with his right foot of that elongated ruck and sets up for a box kick downfield. It's been charged, so it's not went the distance that perhaps the young scrum half would have liked, and it's been scooped up there by Paul Christie. He managed to just gather the ball, he took it into contact, and then he's run down a blind alley because it looks like Andrew Mitchell had his mitts all over that ball. Ian Kenny, the match official, just getting the line out set in front of the stand. It's been flapped against the head. Rennick not able to find his target, so it's went into the hands of HERIOTS, who have to try and break free from inside their own half through Ali Johnson, who is the captain for HERIOTS this afternoon. They also try and reply with an elongated ruck and try and set up a more attractive position for Graham Wilson to kick downfield. A little bit more length and a bit more protection there, as it's just been kicked down the throat of Kirk Ford. He thinks he spots some space over that far side and drills a ball just shy of the 22-metre line and just relieves the pressure. And again, Kirk Ford is a steady hand at fullback for Hawick. Secure at the line out. HERIOTS bring it down, and it's something that they've certainly had in their repertoire for a few years, and that driving maul has just managed to release the rampaging Rory Jackson, who scampers his way over the halfway line straight from the 22. It just parted in front of him, and the bleached blonde hair of the HERIOTS hooker had a lot of room to run into it. Now trying to break free from the Hawick challenges, which are on rushing just over that halfway line in the sunny spot here in the capital in this field. It's some intricate play from the forwards, offloading as well from Ross Jones. One-handed offload, it eventually does find Rory Steele, experienced fullback from his time with Watsonians, and obviously Dumfries as well, where he hails from. HERIOTS round the left-hand side now through Pat Spence. Wilson, another experienced player, onto the perhaps lesser experience of Townsend, who's just been able to eventually release Cammy Meagher. Wilson now over in the 10-metre line, slows play down but does find Townsend, who drills the ball backfield. Jones thinks he spots some space out wide, and there's oodles of it just there for Christie to run into, but the ball is just dribbled shy of the 22-metre line and go out for a Hawick throw into the line out. It's a glorious day here in the capital. There's just over in the far field as well, there's another game. It looks like it's potentially HERIOTS Boroughmuir over on that far side, but here we've got top of the table league action as Ali Johnson breaks free from the scrum. He just hacks it downfield. Lee Armstrong's having to scamper back and get the ball, eventually does. The referee, however,
penalty against him.
Is spotted. There's a penalty.
The ball landed here. Be quiet.
I think that's a penalty that's just been awarded against Hawick.
I'm not going to have him effing and jeffing me like that in open play. It's completely unacceptable. Have a word with them now, I'll keep time off. Completely unacceptable.
So Ian Kenny has awarded a penalty to HERIOTS, and on the balance of play as well, you almost feel like we've been looking towards the right hand side of the park, because HERIOTS have enjoyed quite a lot of possession, and Hawick have found it quite hard to find that consistency and really impose themselves in this game. Jackson to throw into the line out, ball above his head, he hits his target at the front, it's been brought down, and HERIOTS then congregate on that driving maul. They just twist it to the left hand side. The referee shouts that it's still the same maul, and HERIOTS try to find a bit of joy here, but it looks like it's just been disrupted by this Hawick side. Kitsuna finds Townsend then hacks it across the field, and are coming together in the air, and it was Morgan Tate who jumped into the air. He was clattered by Cammy Meagher, and all the players now rushing across to get their points across in their versions of events. a couple of scrags of shirts as well, but that quickly simmers away and the referee gets over to have a conversation. Play has stopped here at Goldenacre while the match officials are just going to have a conversation, but it certainly looks like Morgan Tate has taken a sore one, but 9 minutes gone here, still scoreless between Heriots and Hawick. It's 0-0.
He's not in a realistic position to gather the ball. Contact in the air, but he's come down and landed on his feet, so it's a penalty only, okay? Happy? Thank you. Foul play overrules the other penalty.
Heriots perhaps the better side of the two so far as the scrum comes together. It just collapses.
Number one, not driving straight.
And the
Number one, not driving straight.
Is going to go the way.
Number one, not driving straight.
Of Heriots, and you can hear there the match official just
identifying
Sean Muir as the guilty party there and giving away the penalty centre field. So it gives the blue aqua boots of Luke Townsend an opportunity to try and kick the ball towards the Hawick 22-metre line, which he does, just shy of the 22.
I know, yeah, but for me, so for me, what I've seen is you've taken a step out and then you've gone across. Okay, that's the first move. I 100% will, absolutely. You stay straight this time, I'll absolutely make sure he stays straight. Deal?
So Ian Kenny just explaining to Sean Muir, an Irishman and a Hawickman, trying to exchange dialogue. So we will translate that shortly for you as the throw into the line out goes towards the front. It's been gathered by Pat Spence, and Hawick try to repel the on-rushing driving maul and do a great job of it, and then when it's splintered round the corner, Nicky Little has just dropped a hard shoulder into the Heriots carriers now for Johnson. Townsend, flat ball across the face of defence. Good evasive running there from Ali Johnson. Wilson finds Townsend again. That floated ball has just found Christie. He's going to chip over. He's been clattered, and the bouncing ball has been swept up by Tate. Left-footed kick downfield, almost hacked, but he's made great distance, and this firm surface at Goldenacre has certainly allowed that ball to travel. And then Jason Hill with the big fend, just managing just to brush Morgan Tate out of the road and take Heriots back inside the Hawick half. Townsend flat ball across to Malachi Keogh. Heriots have to get there quickly to the breakdown to try and secure that ball, and then Rory Steele throws it about 6 miles forward. Referee not identifying it this time, lets it play. Rory Kirkpatrick is the benefactor there as he manages to get the offload and take play a little bit closer towards that 22 again. Jason Hill acting as the pivot back inside, and Rory Steele is just splintered to the defence, taking the ball off the shoulder of Townsend, who gets back into position quickly.
Number 7, tackle off the ball.
But the referee has just signalled that there's another penalty there, and again the guilty party.
Number 7, tackle off the ball.
Is Callum Rennick, and the penalties are starting to rack up here for Hawick.
Yeah, and I was about to say the exact same thing as you. Callum Rennick, again, you mentioned he's already had 2 yellow cards this season. If he keeps playing this way he is, you can see what he's trying to do as a back row player, as a 7. He's trying to get under the skin of his opposition, but so far the only person that's really noticing it is the referee, and that's not going to do him any favours when he still has 65 minutes of this game to play.
It's still 0-0, no score yet, and Heriots have just bulldozed their way over that Hawick scrum and collapsing. You could just see the green shirts just engulfed by those navy and white hooped shirts of the Nails as they just swept them out of the road. They've won the penalty, and Luke Townsend is sizing up that touchline to try and eat away at the territory here. Right-footed kick, it's a casual kick as well into the 22, and he's probably blob on the middle, and again I think we're probably going to see a secure Heriots line out, and they'll be fancying a little driving maul here.
Yeah, but they'll need to figure it out, because Rory Jackson's actually now had 2 missed throws. He had the overthrown one on the stand side. He obviously had that one there that was not straight right on the 10, but the one before that was what led to Luke Townsend's knock on, because it was rushed, it was overthrown, it was slapped back, and then it resulted in Townsend's knock on.
Throw into the line out, successful there from Jackson. He finds Keogh at the front, and it's a well-formed driving maul, and now it's started to get ahead of steam, and it's making its way towards that Hawick try line. And the referee's got a keen eye on this, but at the tail is still Jackson driving proceedings here. He's been well protected, he's nudged towards that line, and he gets over, and Heriots get the first score here in this Premiership battle as they race for 4th place in the playoff. The pats on the head are going to Rory Jackson, and he gets the first try. And Heriots, after the first quarter of the game, it's been scoreless, and they get the first try, and it's something which is been well known in the Heriots repertoire as that drive-in maul, but it was effective this time, and they protected their hooker all the way towards that try line. 10-15 metres driving. Ford hooks it downfield, and it's been gathered above the head by Ali Johnson and then palmed to the ground, so it's a knock on. And it's exactly what you don't want to do after, especially against Hawick, but you don't want to be just relinquishing territory and forcing errors deep inside your own half, because you can see the nods of the head and the drive from this Hawick side. They know this is an opportunity. Ball put in by Declan Lightfoot, it's well secured, tapped off by Graham. Then gives the ball back to Lightfoot and finds that Lee Armstrong just busting out of the 10 position, crash ball 10. It's effective this time because Hawick are now looking to try and secure this ball and really tease and probe this defence. Now a chance for Fraser Rennick to carry forward. Lightfoot is quick to the breakdown to try and get the ball and keep it alive. Finds Jay Linton, the upright run from him, just bouncing a few Heriots players out the road. It takes 3 players. One of them is Malachi Keogh to bring him down eventually. The drive comes on then from Stuart Graham. He thinks he spots a little gap, the white line beckoning, but it's the door has been firmly shut in his face. Now Lightfoot finds Nicky Little, fresh from making his 150th appearance for the club. Lightfoot again, just travelling with the ball now, finds Callum Rennick. Again, the defensive effort from Heriots here is robust, and they're certainly putting up a formidable battle here, but eventually the defensive resilience yields, and Hawick managed to get their way over the try line, and it looks like it's Fraser Rennick who's managed to get the try, his 3rd try of the season in the Premiership, and it's all square here at Goldenacre. 24 minutes gone, and Hawick replies straight away. But you've got to say, like, Heriots have been the better team. Hawick then restart. It's an error from Heriots, and all of a sudden 5 metres away from the line, not a lot of teams in this division are going to be able to stop Hawick. Now Kirkford, 56 successful conversion so far this season, right-footed kick, and we can make that number 57. 174 points now for the fullback, and Hawick take the lead. Both hookers with the tries this afternoon. Rennick goes short, he gives it back to Muir, and now he is herring down that touchline, dropping the shoulder. There's a lot of players having to get back to haul the rampaging hooker down to ground. He's won the penalty for Hawick as well, and it's smart, intelligent play from the forwards.
Yeah, you're good there.
The Mansfield forwards have just taken that straight off the training ground, and they've been able to eat away at about 40 yards, win the penalty, which is going to allow Ford just to nudge it in the corner. Rennick, ball above his head, and the sun-kissed Goldenacre. He throws to the front, and Stuart Graham is there. It's been brought down, and Graham is ducking down, trying to get a bit of height to himself to allow his players just to target that ball and allow it to filter back through. The ball has been able to filter to the back, and Mitchell has got the ball in hand now, upright, ball tucked under his right arm. He's been held up there by Townsend. He gets a knee to the ground, so the contact is complete, and now Linton's opportunity to charge forward rides the challenge well. The ball kept alive, and now Muir just throwing a few dummies in there as well, but a little bit of crossing, and you could see what Hawick were trying to do, use those big on rushing forwards. Both sides are huffing and puffing as we approach the final stages of this first half. There's a lot of endeavour went into this game so far from both sides, especially up front, as this driving maul charges its way towards the halfway line. And Jason Hill ran about 10 metres and then shouldered straight into that maul to give it a little bit more momentum, and now Townsend gives it to Jones. Jones just throws it straight in the mush of Rory Steele, who is splintering off the line. The Hodge shoulders perhaps suggest that Steele found it funny as well, because he just got a rugby ball straight in the schnoz. 3 playmakers potentially in that, essentially in that midfield for Heriots. Jones equally as comfortable at 10 and fullback, and finds himself in the outside centre, supporting the youngsters in Townsend and Katsuna. The driving maul again has allowed Jackson to try and invasively break free, but he's been lifted into the sky by Jay Linton, driven back. The ball is squirmed forward, and it means that there's going to be a put into the scrum here for Hawick. They can ill afford to concede any points at this stage of the game. Probably the final few phases we will see here in the first half, and it's been a good one for both sides, you've got to say. 2 points between them, but the line out there accurate for Jackson. And then it's been brought down. Hawick try and get himself in an awkward position to make a fist of it. But Heriots drive towards that 22-metre line. They're doing a good job of trying to secure that ball, and I think they're perhaps looking to communicate with the referee. and drain all the time out that's left in this first half. Wilson hacks it off. He's clattered by Rennick, but the referee has signalled that's half time, and on the half time whistle there's a little bit of a dust up as well, because Kirkpatrick got in there quickly for Rennick, who clattered the scrum half, and there's a lot of scragging going on now. So there's still action here at Goldenacre, even though it's at the half time whistle. The referee having a good look at this as the bodies go to the ground. There's Heriots players on their back and Hawick players on top of them. Some of the backs. Lee Armstrong is just casually walking off away from things. But we're going to get a chance for a chat with the match official just before half time.
I know. Okay.
Standing Lee. It's fucking dangerous.
Be quiet, both of you, okay? So what it is you've hit a boy late, you've come in to escalate it, okay? We don't want to end the half with 2 yellow cards, because it's been a really good half of rugby so far. So get in the change rooms and just wise up, okay? Thank you very much. Cheers.
We've still got 40 minutes to see which way this game will twist and turn. But at half time here at Goldenacre, it's Heriots 5, Hawick 7. This play is underway here at Goldenacre. It's gathered by Jason Hill.
Use 9. Yes, inside.
In the 22, Wilson, box kick downfield. It's watched all the way by Graham, who does well to gather and filters the ball to Lee Armstrong, who floats a teasing ball to Ford to run onto, and he just steps back in field, and now he's in behind the Heriots defence. He's got some support in Callum Rennick, and he is going to splinter between the Kentland. They've come out the second half in impressive fashion, and it's the back row forward there. Callum Rennick who gets a try. And what a start to the second half here for Hawick. And it's the work there from Kirkford from fullback, getting in behind that defensive line and the support line of the back row forward to go in for a try. And what a start for Hawick.
Yeah, what a deceptive step by Kirkford there. Probably just on the good side of the halfway line there. He managed to step clean through. And Callum Rennick, like any good back row, he was there. But that's such a hallmark of Callum Rennick, that he never gives up on anything, even if he thinks somebody's clean through.
Yeah, successful conversion. 1 minute into the second half, and Hawick have given themselves a little bit of a cushion. But certainly in the second half, Hawick look like they're coming out a little bit more driven and determined, as Kirkford doesn't find touch with that kick, and it's almost going to go out dead. It's been watched there by Graham Wilson, who opts not to dot it down in the goal area and kicks it downfield. Ford is waiting there. He finds Armstrong. Armstrong just floats the ball to Mitchell. Mitchell then a little kick of the heels, goes round the outside. He tries to release Welsh, but doesn't need him this time, because there's 2 or 3 Heriots players now prone on the ground. One of them is Steele, because he's tried to tackle Andrew Mitchell. He's come off second best there. It's not the first time a Heriots player has come off second best from a carry from one of these Hawick players. And Sean Muir in the first half was able to bundle over Ali Johnson, as Stuart Graham then goes in behind the defensive line. Lightfoot travels with the ball. Sean Muir now has just offloaded to Welsh. Welsh is waiting there. He carries forward, but has been scragged to ground by the Heriots defenders. Lightfoot finds Linton. He brushes the first challenge aside from Kirkpatrick, who just wraps around the bootlaces of Linton. The referee spots there's been a knock on.
He's not in the way.
In there.
He's not in the way, and you've knocked it on. Set!
And Lightfoot
Hold the weight.
loiters by the tunnel, ready just to pop this ball into the scrum. And quickly dispatches the ball to Armstrong, and he floats the ball into the path of Andrew Mitchell, who's just running tight on the shoulder. He's been well dealt with there by Kenta Kasuna. Coming around the corner now, and Sean Muir making head of steam, and he makes a good 5 yards as well. Some passive tackling as Armstrong waits deep in the pocket as Ford takes a flat pass, then dances back in field. Lightfoot is crouched over the ball, dispatches it to Sean Muir this time, just ducks down, but he's almost stopped at source there by the Heriots defence, who put up a better battle this time as Armstrong sizes up his options out the back door to Mitchell, who has to check his run, go back in field, and he splinters through the defence, and now he's back through in the 22. He goes in the inside of Christie, bounces through some challenging, and Hawick now have their tails up. Lightfoot tries to distribute the ball, but not able to find a Hawick player.
The
referee has got penalty advantage coming for this Hawick side. Muir waits the ball at his feet, and he tips it on to Rennick, who crashes to the ground, but the referee signals that the penalty is going to come back for Hawick. And again, the danger of Mitchell. You wonder why he's scored 18 tries this season, then you just watch passages of play like that, watching a centre, and there's nothing on at all, and all of a sudden checks his run, spots where he's going and he can break through, but I think Hawick are looking to try and go quickly here. It's at the feet of Sean Muir. He's waiting just to tap this ball. He's got Nicky Little waiting, but he's going to go it alone. He charges forward and the Hawick support is there, ready, willing and waiting as Rennick now ducks the ball under his right arm and charges forward, well supported by this Hawick pack yet again. Muir has a second chance and tries to catapult himself towards the line, but wins the penalty advantage. Nicky Little now waiting, crouched over, but there's players waiting up, lined up in front of him, almost charging towards the line, but the cry of short from the referee signals that Hawick were almost over the line, but Nicky Little just fumbles the ball in the act of scoring. They're going to go back for yet another penalty, and it was effective that time, and you wouldn't argue against them doing the same again.
No, if it's not broken, don't fix it. You know, Sean Muir's done the exact same, put it right down at the base, on top of his foot.
And he's going to go again, and he's a little bit taller this time in contact, charges towards that defensive line, and it's got a little bit more pace now for Rennick to try and charge towards that line. The Hawick side, the waiting and lining up. Lightfoot dispatches the ball to Armstrong, who's got Welsh there, and then Ford is angling his run, and he's got a waiting, willing support there in Morgan Tate, and he dives over in the corner. And just when all the forwards were started to lure and entice the HERIOTS defenders in, it allowed that space out wide for Morgan Tate to just swan dive over in the corner after some accurate passing from the Hawick backs.
Yeah, and I spoke about it in the first half. You have to earn the right to go wide, and obviously when you have a pack like that Hawick team we spoke about, they need no momentum, they need no encouragement. Every collision they win it, they get to ground fast and they recycle it quickly. And Morgan Tate, obviously he took that blunder in the first half inside his own 22. He's had a few big collisions with some back row runners that made it through, but he's got his just rewards there. They slung it wide, they used Mitchell as a great decoy, Charlie Welsh fast hands, Kirk Ford just lined up the last man, made sure he had to commit, sent it out. Morgan Tate's in the corner, as you like, down on the stand side, easy as pie.
Kirk Ford now with the conversion attempt, he's out wide towards the stand side, right-footed kick, so it's going to angle away from the posts, and he's slowly lines up and just pings that ball towards the uprights, and is expected perhaps from a right-footed kicker, it just glances in front of the uprights. Townsend kicks the ball downfield, it's been gathered by Graham, and what an incentive this scoreline perhaps is going to do at Poinder Park. Kelso, it's now over to them, perhaps. We know we've still got 25 or so minutes left in this game, but if it continues in this vein, you would argue that Hawick are going to escape down the road with a bonus point victory. It's been charged down at the ruck there by HERIOTS. Declan Lightfoot trying to relieve pressure, just not being able to get the protection in there for the ruck. It's very naive from the scrum half and naive from the Hawick forwards as well, not to protect in such a dangerous area for an important act. But now he distributes the ball to Lee Armstrong, and he safely pings it downfield. Being gathered there by Angus Hunter. He gives the ball to Townsend, who distributes now to Jones. Jones gives the ball to Christie. He's looking to try and open his legs up. He breaches the first challenge. Now he's in behind. Offload coming in, but the challenge comes on from Hawick, who can do well to scramble back and protect their own goal line. Inside the 22 now, Lightfoot gives the ball to an on-Russian player, and this time it's in the shape of Dan Brooker, who's perhaps been a little bit quieter than some of his other forwards, but Welsh waiting in the pocket, just fumbles the ball. But the referee will bring it back there. Hawick only conceded 239 points in the league. That's the least of anybody. It's actually 131 points less than HERIOTS, which is impressive. They're in 5th position, so you know Hawick do trust their D. Yeah, they do, and as you say, going up to this line out there, Rory McLeod and the rest of the Hawick pack will be given a bit of chirping, just trying to get in the head, and you can see they've totally changed the tactic, thrown to the back of the line out there. Thrown at the tail and look to try and get some of their runners, their heavier carriers on the ball, and Malachi Keogh is one of them. He does well to eat into the territory there. Townsend now finds Jones. Jones just feeds the ball wide, and now it's an opportunity for the winger to go and squeeze in the corner, and they do just that because Canny Meagher has been able to dot the ball down in the corner, and now HERIOTS trail by 9. We've got 10 minutes left to go at Goldenacre, and they know that if they get a victory here, they could steal a march, and the teams round about them, even any sort of points this afternoon could prove vital in the race for 4th position. But Canny Meagher has narrowed the margins here. It's been quite a good day for Luke Townsend, especially kicking from hand in the penalty section of that facet of the game.
He's had a great quiet day. He's gone around. His backs, really, they've had to work on scraps every now and again. It's definitely been a game for the forwards, taking the most of the ball. But yes, a good performance for Luke Townsend. He's took his team out of their half into Hawick territory.
Flynn Thomas, the stocky character of Flynn Thomas with the mullet and the moustache. If you could draw a New Zealander, you'd probably draw him, to be fair. And he finds his target there, and from that forward drive finds Townsend, who distributes the ball wide. It ends up in the hands of the most recent try scorer, Cammy Meagher, the experienced Cammy Meagher on the wing for Heriots. Malachi Keogh finds Jones finds Townsend on the wraparound, and then Kitsuna just splinters a ball wide into the hands of Harry Hitchens, who hitch kicks his way around the Hawick defence into the hands now of Flynn Thomas, who was there in support. And ball flat to Struan Cessford, and the floating ball across is just almost picked off by Lee Armstrong, but it's Kirkpatrick who gathers, and then the hooker who's back on the field to play, Jackson, goes back in field, and now Heriots have their tails up 2 or 3 metres shy of the line. There's players lining up out wide, and it is Malachi Keogh to go in. Malachi Keogh in for the score for Heriots, and it was a teasing ball across the top from Heriots that was almost picked off by Lee Armstrong, but they're going to need tries. It's now Heriots 15, Hawick 19, and we've got about 4 or 5 minutes left to play here at Goldenacre. And can Heriots turn round this deficit? We've got a kick to come, which would make it 17-19, which would mean the finish to this game could be really important in terms of discipline for both sides.
Yeah, and how handy is it that Graham Wilson, he's actually had a tester of this with the last try from pretty much the exact same spot. So yeah, he's got his eyes set to be lining this one up with a great bit of care after that first miss.
Just outside the 22, right-footed kick for Wilson. Slow run up, slow steady run up, and it's a nice angled kick, and it looks accurate, and it's over the upright from the most difficult of angles, right in front of the shadows of the post, the stand here at Goldenacre. Anderson throws it the line out, finds Frizzle. The ball's been presented over the top of the supporting players who are trying to form that driving maul. It twists towards the left-hand side as the Hawick players break free. The shout of same maul as Brogan arrives with the ball on the scene of the 10-metre line. Welsh, arms outstretched, remonstrating with the referee that he thinks the ball has been held in there. Muir carries, the Heriots players quick off the line, legally so according to the match officials as well. Great defence from the home side. Then Welsh waits. The ruck is messy on the 10-metre line. Anderson carries forward, and you can hear the referee saying time is up. Hawick pass the ball to Brunton, right-footed kick, catapults the ball off the field of play, and Hawick live to fight another day at the top of the Premiership. An important victory on the road, yet another one in the Premiership. The only team to turn them over so far this season is Mark, but Hawick do what they needed to do. It was a pretty simple remit for the Mansfield Park men. Get on the bus and get back down the road with a victory of any sorts, and they were made to work really hard for it in the end. Heriots crept their way back into the game, but just not able to take any opportunities that were presented to them towards the end. But it's a victory for the visitors here, who escaped down the road with the narrowest of victories as they beat Heriots in the Premiership by 17 points to 19.
Nicky, that was a very hard-fought win, wasn't it?
Aye, it was. We always know that coming up here is tough to play up here, but we didn't play our best, but we came out and the right end of the result, end of the day. That's the main thing, so that's a pleasing thing.
Keeps you top of the table, also means that you get a home tie in the playoffs.
Aye, obviously we knew a win today would secure us a home semi-final, which is obviously a big advantage for us, and then obviously our aim next week is to win that. Then obviously we're guaranteed to finish top of the league, so that's obviously our focus now.
No excuses, we have 6 weeks off. Obviously it was the Selkirk game got cancelled and stuff like that, and just probably needed a bit more conditioning, but they'll be fine for next week, I'm sure.
You're still enjoying your rugby though?
Being out with the ACL for as long as I was kind of chomping at the bit to get back to it, so even though I'm one of the old guard now and it's been a while out, running out here for the Heriots is still one of the best things to do on a Saturday.
You looked like a completely different team in the second half when you came out. You were firing on all cylinders. What did Matty have to say to you at half time?
We got a wee bit of rocket at half time, obviously that first 20 minutes after half time, that's obviously the way we want to play. and we scored a couple of good tries, and then obviously last 20 you kind of came off it again a wee bit, but at the end of the day it was a win, so that was our main focus, to come up here and get a win, whether it be 4 points or 5 points. So
me and Graham Wilson still chucking hard from, I think I'm in my been here 16 plus years, he's close to maybe 20, so part of the furniture.
I suppose as long as you're still enjoying it, then you'll keep playing.
It's a great club. Like as I said, when I was out, like socially, it's still up there. The amount of teams and boys that we've got coming down, putting the teams we're putting out at the weekend, 2s, 2As, the women's team. It's a great club. Socially, it's a great club. So even if I was watching, it's still a great place to be.
I want to take you back in time because I was watching on YouTube the famous try 9 years ago for the Scotland Club 15. You must still enjoy watching that try.
I like to reminisce that I used to be able to move a bit quicker. I used to have an inside step, but it comes up every now and then on my timeline, and it's a good one to watch back and pretend that I was good back in the day.
So after a hard-fought win, it's Hawick who come away with the victory, 17-19, and they do get their home semi-final. Join us next week for a border derby. It'll either be Selkirk Hawick or Jed Kelso. But for now, from here at Goldenacre, cheerio.